And so as a girl, she would pick flowers and pull them apart and break leaves, and she looked for God everywhere. The priest said, look for him everywhere. And she did look as a girl in the fields, as a migrant, widowed, with a widowed mother and sister, as an immigrant to the United States, as an art student. And then throughout her whole life, focused on seeing God. Ціле своє життя Christina Dochwat посвятила тому, щоб шукати Бога, бачити Бога, Його показувати іншим. Щоб допомогти людям молитися. І вона казала, що тоді, як ікона допомагає людині молитися, тоді працює Господь, Святий Дух. For her, the study with the sisters of St. Basil at the academy here in Philadelphia was very important. Because the girls that lived there had many opportunities for prayer. And she would mention these niches in the corners where there were icons and statues that provided opportunities to stop and pray. Look for the Lord and to see Him. It is striking for me that having lived such a difficult childhood and youth, this person who was full of energy, was decisive, was so focused and so serene. And her icons, which ornament some 80 churches, share that serenity. The peace of the resurrected Lord with us. What beauty, what nurturing, what gentleness is projected. When on behalf of his beatitude, we were delivering the award that stands by Christina, the highest order of our church, the order of Metropolitan I asked her at a little simple lunch, because some of you ladies were there for golf partners. It was during COVID, it was quite private. I asked her, what was your favorite church? You decorated and enhanced so many. And she said, the Byzantine Chapel in the National Shrine in Washington. The chapel, by its 40th anniversary, which was in 2014, had already been visited by 13 million people. That's just one of the churches. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to go to Washington. It's a small chapel. On that day, 5 years ago, she told me that's her favorite. When Lucius, who took such good care of Christina, we all thank you for that, assisted me in visiting, I think it was 4 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, Christina in the rest home. I asked her again. She had a very good day. She was already in the memory unit. But we had a wonderful conversation, both in Ukrainian and English. Я знов запитав, яка ваша улюблена з церков? Вона сказала, of course, the cathedral. cathedral. Some people tell me it's the biggest Ukrainian church in the world. Catholic or Orthodox. I don't know if that's true. That's not that important. But every time I serve there, I think of Christina Dochwat. Every time. Because her prayer, her labor, her focus, her peace, her serenity, her beauty is behind the icons. Because she came to know and live and incarnate herself the beauty of the Lord. It was a beautiful life. Many of you knew her better than I. But in my research, in my reading, in my listening, I see grace. She knew how to take vacations. She loved Mexico. Father, I expect to hear some more stories about that, because you shared some of those vacations with her. You know, it's not easy working with bishops and priests. I tell you that from the experience of my collaborators. For 60 years, Christina Dochwat, a woman, wrote areas. Коли пані Христина починала іконографію, маючи 26 чи скільки там років, було мало жінок іконографів. І церкви, і парафії, скажімо собі, правда, були досить клерикальні. In our parishes, Father always knew best. If you look closely, you will see through this history of the last 70 years, Christina Dochwat helped reorient our church. Because there's no more powerful symbol than an icon. 13 million people went into her chapel. The postcards of the icons from that chapel are in sale in the bookstore in the National Shrine. I think it's the biggest church in America. And then the look of the Lord in 80 churches. At weddings, at baptisms, at funerals. Christina Dochwat was there. I think no human being spent more time in the cathedral than Christina Dochwat. For years, she worked in our cathedral. There's 58 icons that she painted, 56 on the iconostas and 2 other big icons that stand there. Maybe I'm missing something. And there's 61 individual mosaics. The big mosaic she completed in 1967, a year after the dedication of the cathedral. There was a 14-year pause. In 1981, she began again. And in 6 years, she completed 60 mosaics and 58 icons. While she was also working for other churches, including this one. The discipline. Я не знаю, чи ви коли над тим задумувалися, але українські культурні діячі завжди були в складному положенні. Їхня творчість дуже часто мусила бути хобі, вони не могли з того жити. Іван Франко був перший український письменник, який жив зі своїх текстів. Кожен інший мусив щось інше робити. І перед ним, і більшість після нього. Christina Dochwat was one of the few iconographers in the United States who could, because of her competence, because of her capacity to work with people, with priests and bishops and parishes and parish councils, who lived fully from her iconography. She didn't have a day job as a draftsperson in an office, or, she didn't paint, let's say, secular scenes. She was totally dedicated to this apostle. I want to help people pray. Her mother, who had been widowed, wanted grandchildren. And she was a little disappointed that Christina was not getting married. And Christina told her mother, my icons will be your grandchildren. These icons will never be forgotten. These icons will always witness. These icons will inspire, soothe, nourish. She reoriented our church at a time after the Vatican Council when our church was encouraged to return to its roots. She painted in an Eastern Byzantine style, free of Latinizations, of westernizations that were often imposed on second-class people who kind of accepted a second-class status. She said, no, we have our tradition. It's Byzantine and it's Ukrainian. It's something that needs to be fostered. Scholars and theologians and art historians will study her art, study this impact. She is one of the most influential persons in the 150-year history of Eastern Christianity in the United States. But many people do not know who the author of the pictures that inspired him is. She did not clamor for attention. But she was pleased to know that her church cares. On that day, at that lunch where we talked about her favorite church, the day she received that award, she told me, this is the happiest day of my life. It's a little surprising to hear. Why was it happy for her? Why was there this quiet joy? Because her church recognized her with its highest award. She didn't need trumpets, she didn't need pedestals. She just wanted to know, did the church get the message? Did the church see? Could it see God? And so we do. Обичала на родину, ми вам складаємо співчуття. і супроводжаємо вас молитвою. Але хочемо заохотити вас в духовний спосіб гордитися нашою Богом обдарованою родичкою, яка любила Бога і любила людей. Я ще ніколи не чув, що хтось сказав поганого слова про пані Христину. Але це була сильна особистість, яка знала своє покликання від Бога, яка заохочує нас з вами знати своє покликання, бачити Бога і про нього свідчити іншим. Нема нічого важливішого. It's so beautiful to see the completion of a life well lived in this world of chaos, of brutality, of lies, of selfishness, self-aggrandizement. We say farewell to a person that has left beauty, has shared grace, and who lived with joy. A joy that is radiant, a joy that is so expressive. In Ukraine, there's a saying, if you die and are buried in Easter week, you go straight to heaven. I think, in the case of you, dearest Christina, no matter when the Lord would have called you, that root was there, because you were with him already here. Нехай вічною буде пам'ять Christina Dochwat. Цінуємо те, що вона була серед нас і лишила нам слідки. May the memory of Christina Dochwat be eternal. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Christ is risen. Христос воскрес.